Browns. Parkey made the extra point after missing one earlier, so it's a tie game. Ravens have got a timeout. Jackson hits Andrews not once, but twice. And then he'd hit him a third time to get the best kicker in the NFL within 55, and Justin Tucker right down the middle. Bang! And the Browns fans who gave so much support, had so much invested in this night, they lose. It was a late safety on the pitchy woo-woo, which was a mess for some of you. And prior to departing the game, Lamar had been working almost exclusively on the ground, completing just 6 passes before he left to go to the locker room. But when he came back, again, after the 2-minute warning, it was his arm that carried the day. He went 5 of 6 for the touchdown and those big passes to Andrews, which got him close enough for Tucker to win it. The excitement and the joy on the Baltimore side is offset by the disappointment and the frustration, obviously, in the Browns locker room.
Yeah, back and forth game. We were trying to do whatever it took to win in that second half. I know we left a lot of points on the board in the first half. I played pretty sloppy in the first half, so and then that turnover that really hurt us. So I have to be better. But when you play a team like that, Lamar's an unbelievable player. He's just going to make a lot of plays, and so you go into that game knowing that you're going to have to score points. But we win as a team and we lose as a team. So we just have to be better, and that's that.
Even though it was a loss, is there anything that you can take from this game, given the way you guys played, especially offensively, going into the final stretch here and potentially the playoffs?
Obviously, second half, we, did what we needed to on offense. But we just, like I said, we left so much out there, and turning the ball over, we've talked about it. It hurts you. So that one hurts me, and it hurt the team. So we just have to build on the fact that this team fights. I'm really proud of this team for fighting, and that's what I would take out of this game. But we just have to be better.
There's really no other way to quantify what we just witnessed at the end of the best game of the year. Need to add 2 more to that Raven number. Yeah, that's a 5-point winner for Baltimore. 5-point winner. 5. And a bit of history, even though Jackson was not available for the full 60 minutes, 124 on the ground, the most ever by a quarterback on Monday Night Football. Also had 2 of the Ravens' 5 rushing touchdowns on the evening. But that arm threw that touchdown pass to Brown that was so critical for this Monday Night Football victory, that in the foot of Grease. He talks about the timid souls who knew neither victory or defeat. You think about what the arena is, man, and this is what it was. These teams enter it. They show competitive fight. And, Lewis, if I start with you, what did Baltimore demonstrate in this game, in a game they really had to have any hope at the playoffs?
What they demonstrated was tremendous competitive character, Scott. That's really the only way I can really put it. The kind of guys who look, despite the fact that they don't have their normal practice schedule, as Lamar pointed out, they haven't really seen each other. They haven't been able to be around each other, haven't been able to hug each other, shake each other's hand, pump each other up. In the most dire of circumstances, they found a way to make plays. And everybody talks about that in football. Just find a way to make a play, especially your best players. And Lamar Jackson embodied that tonight. He was like Superman.
Brian, what'd you see out of that Raven team, particularly when Jackson comes back on the field? Again, I always lean on the fact that you played the position. You come back out of the locker room, it's 4th and 5. Hey, make a play, 8, and he does.
Well, what was crazy, Scott, was he had punctured this Cleveland Browns defense with his legs predominantly through the first 3 quarters of the game. And when he came out, the first four plays were passes, and the first one, the touchdown on 4th down. So you have to give him credit. But he threw almost half of his completions when he came back out of the locker room in the game. So when he had to have it, and Marquise Brown had to make that play, and then the last drive with Mark Andrews over the middle of the field, those 2 plays were huge, obviously. So you got to give him credit throwing the football.
Lewis, you said at the end of the game there are no consolation prizes. I agree. You said these are not the same old Browns. I also agree. But I do wonder, when you have this stage, your city is wanting so much to believe, and you invest this much, come back, get a lead, and you lose. How much could that stick moving forward?
I don't think it will with this football team because they're still in the infant stages of growing this program. And this program is Kevin Stefanski's program. This program is Andrew Berry, the general manager's program. Forget everything else that happened before that. And if I'm Kevin Stefanski, I'm driving that home to my football players here. And I'm saying this, you have nothing to do with that. I have nothing to do with that. What we established here tonight was this. We can compete against some of the best, against a football team that's beat us 8 out of the last 11 times. We were there right to the very end. Let's make some adjustments. Let's stay healthy, get healthy, and continue to press forward because everything we want is still out there for us to get. This game was important to us, but it wasn't critical in terms of where we want to get to. So I think they're still on the up and up, man. They have nothing to hang their head about.
I think in the locker room, Stefanski's saying, savor this.
Yep.
Remember how this feels, because this team's going to be in the playoffs. And this game is going to go a long way in determining how they react to it, how they end up playing in the playoffs.
I'd say the same thing to you. You guys get to put in for per diem and travel and all of that. You know, you've lived it. You've been out there for this. But on the way out, I just would wonder, when's the last time, Lewis and Brian, that you saw a football game that maybe moved you in that way, where you saw what these two teams did? It felt like a playoff game to me.
Well, I was proud of the way that the guys played, really, especially when you looked at the two quarterbacks. There was a lot of pressure on both guys. Lamar came in, he hadn't played a whole lot in the last 3 weeks, and there was a lot of pressure on him, and he delivered. Everybody telling him how he should play, what it should look like. Who cares? Throw out the stat line. He's one of the best players to ever play the position. And then for Baker Mayfield, really proud of the way that he came and played. We started the broadcast with the city of Cleveland, the pressure on Baker Mayfield, and he was outstanding in this game. Something to build on.
Yeah, for me it felt, Scott, like we've seen a lot of great games in our time, whether it be on TV, whether games that we were attending, or maybe games that we even played in. But for me, this felt a little bit personal because this is Cleveland. And even though this isn't the same stadium I played in, I could feel the fans' energy here. It felt like the old days again, and this wasn't even filled to capacity here. If this had been filled to capacity, this place would have been rocking. And I think that is something that the fans are going to go away disappointed that they lost, but they're going to say, hey, maybe we're back. Maybe we're back on that track that we were on in 1994 before they announced the move in 95. Just maybe. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, but just maybe. And I think that's the importance that this game carries tonight.
Yeah, it takes folks back to a time when a guy was wearing number 42 with some shoulder pads up around his ear holes, right?
Around this eye.
Fellas, what a treat to watch this one. As always, enjoyed the time. We'll talk next week, all right?
Thanks, Scotty.
All right, let's do our research on all the rushing in Monday's game. Fourth quarter makes you forget all that went into it. 124 on the ground for Lamar, 8th career game crossing the century mark. Already the second most by any quarterback in NFL history, trailing only 10 by Michael Vick. Jackson helped the Ravens eclipse 200 rushing yards for the 18th time since he became the quarterback for the Ravens, at least as a starter in 18. Twice as many as any other team over that span. Derrick Henry and the Titans have got 9. And the franchise matched the record with 5 rushing touchdowns. Browns added 4. That combined total of 9 matches